Hello, welcome to this video of Tomb Raider 3 glitch tutorial. Today it's gonna be about jungle, and before that I'm gonna do a small introduction about the new things in Tomb Raider 3 compared to Tomb Raider 2, because I made already a Tomb Raider 2 tutorial and it already had an intro. So for people completely new to Tomb Raider speedrunning, I want to start with Tomb Raider 3. I will put a link in the description with introduction of Tomb Raider 2 speedrun, which explains some bases like what is the fastest way of moving, flare cancel, grab cancel, and things like that. So for people new, check out the description before looking at this video. And for people that already have experience with Tomb Raider 2, we will be able to start directly with this video. So let's see what's new in this Tomb Raider 3. So first, we kill those things. Should be okay. So, what's new in this game first is the sprinting mechanic. So, sprinting is faster than a running jump. So, for people new, as you discovered in the video, you should know that running is the slowest way to move in this game, and running jump is the fastest way, and no, sprinting is the fastest way instead of running jump. So, you can't sprint all the way through because there is one reason to it, is that the sprint bar on the top right is getting lower and lower when you sprint. That's normal. And the problem is the only way to make Lara start sprinting is to wait for the bar to be full. So for example, if I sprint here, I can't sprint anymore until the bar is full. So that's going to be important for sequences, because for example, if you want to go, I don't know, if you are there, for example, and you want to go on the block further, what you want to do is you want to sprint as long as you can, and when you will have to, you will jump, and when you will stop jumping, if you want to keep going, for example, I don't know where you want to go, but whatever, you will have to times your sequences so that when you finish your jump, you can start sprinting again. So for example, here I'm sprinting. Let's say I make to the block, and I can't because obviously I'm one click too low, but if I made it to the block, I would have been able at the end of my jump to keep sprinting. So here it's nonsense because I don't need to sprint anywhere, but that's an example. So we will see about that in more detail when we'll have to talk about sequences, because first level doesn't have any sequences, so we will see about that later. But that is a small talk about that. So overall, in general, if you want to sprint, if you want to go forward, just forward with nothing, absolutely nothing, what you have to do is, to do it efficiently, you have to sprint and know how to dive roll. To dive roll is really easy. You sprint, and to dive roll, whenever you want, you press the jump button, and you will be able to dive roll. So that's how it works. And as you can see, when you dive roll, the sprint bar is going back up, so it doesn't count into sprinting. And what's cool about it is that diving roll is slightly faster than sprinting. So what you want to do, for example, if you want to go forward and be able to have the most efficient sequence, is you have to sprint until Lara has 25-30% of her sprint bar remaining. Then you're going to do a dive roll, and then you're going to do a running jump. That's how it will work, like this. Up. And if you jump, when you will land your jump, you will be able to sprint again. So here, I don't have enough space to show it, but that's how it should work. So here, and if I do a running jump, as you can see, I can't do it here, unfortunately. Let's try to find a more open space. Maybe here. No, not here. Clearly not here. Let me find an open space. Blah, blah, blah. I need an open space. Well, Nevada, definitely. So, Up, you sprint, you dive roll, and you jump again. And when you land, you will be able to sprint again and do it again, if you just want to go forward. So that's overall the general thing you want to do when you start to make your sequences efficient. So obviously you don't want to do that, but that's what you want to do. So this is the first thing, and this is about dealing with your sprint bar and etc. You will learn about it little by little while you're doing things. There is a second thing that you need to learn. It's that you need to learn about what we call... oh wait, I need to say something too. It's that if you want to turn when you sprint, so as you can see, if you want to turn right, Lara takes time before going right when you sprint. It's not like when you're running, you can directly go right, left, and right whenever you want. When she starts sprinting, she has a kind of curve where you can't really, for example, if I'm sprinting, I can't reach, if I'm from that tile, I can't reach that tile easily because she has a sprint, she has a delay when turning. So you have to be careful about that too. Also, another way there is a way to turn efficiently is to bump some wall. For example, well, not bumping, but hitting a wall. So, for example, if you hit a wall, as you can see, Lara is kind of bounced back by the wall, and it makes you turn more efficiently and faster like this. Up. When you sprint normally, you can't do you can see that she's just curving at the same angle when she sprints. Like this, and it's not too big. But if you are sprinting and you hit a wall, up like this, so here it won't work because I don't hit the wall, but if you hit the wall, you will turn more efficiently like this. So this is something you have to know in general. So this is it for the sprints. You will get used to it, don't worry. If you don't like sprinting at the start, I completely understand that. You can try to get sequences with running jump and just sprint when it's straightforward. It's okay. You will get better later. So second thing new compared to Tomb Raider 2, it's that, for example, if your health is midlife or whatever, there are those crystals will give you health, because in PS1 version you used to have crystals to save, but in Tomb Raider 3 PC version you can just save whenever you want like this. So it doesn't matter, so they put health crystal instead of save crystal. So this is something you have to know. Another thing is that there is a fastest way of moving, which is sprinting, and there is a slower way to move, which is crouching, like this. So this is, you probably know it because you probably already played Tomb Raider 3, but what you don't know probably is that with crouching you can do some things. So what can you do? You can do what we call a crouch cornerback. So here it won't make me glitch somewhere useful, but I'm going to show you. So if you just go here and crouch in the wall, so for example here I just need to walk forward, but you don't have to every time. So here, for example, I'm glitching up to the wall. So that can be useful because when you want to crouch to glitch up, we will use that as a recover in the first level. So that's how it works. I'm not sure it works with the blocks, but still gonna try. Yeah, okay. So that's, for example, how it works. You don't have to walk forward every time. Sometimes it's faster, but it depends on the geometry. So you can use that. It's pretty easy. It's way easier than general corner bugs. You just go here, crouch at the right angle, because if you don't, she's gonna do that, and it's not useful. And if you do it too much, you won't be able to glitch. So here it works because of the geometry, because it's easy, but some places if you go right too much it won't work. But roughly it's 45 degrees, crouch up, crouch, press forward, and she will glitch up. So that's how it works. It's pretty easy. I will explain later when you get to it. Second thing with crouch that you can do is this. Oops, not this. It's this. So that's called perpetual flare cancel state. And basically Lara is holding a flare in her hand, but she doesn't have a flare. So that's kind of a free flare that you can get. And you can cancel stumbles like this. So here, for example, so I died, so it doesn't matter, but it's pretty funny. But for example, you could see that I didn't stumble. And it's mainly because of a perpetual flare console. So let's see, and let's show it to you again. So how do you do that? It's pretty simple. So I'm just gonna show you that's efficient perpetual flare console, because that will be more clear to you. So how do you do perpetual flare console first? What you do is you just crouch, press forward to get in this crouch state, release crouch and hold flare button, and you will be in this state. And if you wanna you can be a bit faster also. Perpetual flare console also helps to get up faster, like this, up. So as you can see, when she crouch and she start getting up, she has an animation getting up, which takes, I don't know, half seconds or whatever. When you stop pressing crouch, if you press flare plus forward button, she will skip that small animation and it will be slightly faster. So when you get out of a crouch space, that's what you want to do generally. You just release crouch, and when she's getting up, you press the flare button to get up faster, and you also have free flare. So that's pretty good. How long does the perpetual flare console last? It stays as long as you move. So for example, here I'm moving, but as soon as I stop and stand still, she will stop. So that's how it works. You just don't want to stop if you want to keep your perpetual flare console thing. You have to be careful though if you do it at some wrong places. For example, if you have perpetual flare console state and you go in the water, when you will emerge in the water, you won't be able to climb any ledge. So you might get soft lock. So you have to be careful about when you do perpetual flare console. I will say to you when it's better to do it or not. So this is basically it for perpetual flare console. So as you can see, I can flare console whatever I want and etc. So I can't draw guns, so you also have to be careful about that, because obviously you can't fight people without guns, but that's basically what it is. And that's basically it with the new things in Tomb Raider 3. There are a lot of new things actually, but they are used once or twice in a run max. So I will explain them all when we get there. Tomb Raider 3 has a lot of different kind of glitches that I will explain. And that's it. I will explain texture glitch in the end of a jungle for people interested about texture glitch and know it already. And let's go for jungle. So jungle is the first level, and I will say first because I just don't want to see the main menu every time. I will just show you quickly the first sequence that we used to do, that every advanced runner does. It's this. So as you can see, I did a twist jump at the first jump, slightly curving left. That's the most advanced sequence, so I just need to jump then, and it's right I can get there on this slope that I need to do. But there is a more simple way to do it for new people, which is really more simple, because if you curve too much left when you're new, that's what you will do. First you will get a bump here. That's the first thing. And then you will get on this slope, you will stumble, or even worse, you will end on this thing and you will die like this. So if you curve too much left, that's what will happen. And when you start, you don't really want to reset too much and etc. So there is a simple way. You just do a twist jump. Just do jumps to time when you have to. Jump is just, those jumping are like 1 frame faster instead of just sliding. So it doesn't really matter too much, but it also times when you will land on the spikes and etc. So I recommend jumping here. So you just do jumps, and when you land this place, which is right before the spikes, what you do is you hold jump plus roll plus left, and you'll be able to do 2 twist jumps like this, up like this, and then you just jump again, and you will get every time the same sequence, and you will land every time on this slope that you wanna land on. So this is the spot where you want to land on, and this is really easy, so I'm not gonna say anything more about that except showing it a second time. You just do a twist here, just do jumps until you get to the spike place. And even if you miss the spike place, for example, you can do it again here. You just press roll left and jump. You do it 2 times and you will land every time at the same spot. And you will land on the slope and be able to keep going. So this is the first thing, and this is pretty easy, so you should be able to do it. So I will save when we'll get there to get the next sequence, which is a bit more tricky, and there are a couple of things to say about it. So when you get on the slope, you can also take your guns if you don't like the camera. I personally don't care, so this is as you want. So this is especially that camera you want to cancel. I personally have a visual point for this camera for when to jump here, because if you jump too late, you won't be able to jump again. Because the purpose of this sequence, of the next sequence, is to do that. This, you want to do this. So if you press jump too early, you will get that, and you don't want that to happen. And if you press too late, you won't be able, well, here I managed to get it. Don't know how, but it shouldn't have worked. Like this, I won't be able to get the jump and I'll get down. So that's not good. Basically, my visual point for this is I just wait for Lara. There are some trees she's going to and she's sliding on the right. When she starts disappearing, I jump. Like this. Sorry, it was maybe a bit early even. But as soon as she disappears, like this, you jump and you will be able to make it. So how do you do this jump? It's pretty simple. You do your jump, you slide your jump on the slope here. What you do is you want to start pressing, you want to curve left, obviously, but if you curve it too much, if you press left and forward all the time, like this, that's what will happen. You will hit a wall or will stumble or whatever. So this is, and if you don't do it enough, that will happen. So you have to do it just right. This takes a bit of practice. And what I personally do is I jump. When I land, I slightly curve left for 1 step or something. And also, so here it's not going to work because I forgot, but you also need to keep pressing the jump button because you want to do the jump. And once I did 1 step, I stop pressing left and I just go forward. And when she starts jumping, I start pressing left again. So here it won't work because it's hard to retake it, but if you look at my inputs, that's what I do. Oops, so here it's not what I did, but it still works because I'm used to it. Up. So press left for 1 step, wait until she jumps, and press left again. That's what I do. This is really quick. You want to press left almost all the time. You just want to stop pressing left just a short moment. It lasts for 1 step at least, at max. And I used to know I used to press left all the time because I'm used to the sequence, but that's another way of seeing it too. So you either do what I said, or if you prefer, what you can do is you jump, and after the first step you start pressing left and you hold it until you land to the slope. So for example here, 1, curve left, and that's it. So that's also a possibility. So up, 1, up, curve left, and get it. So that's personally how I do it. You will have some trouble with this jump, so I will show you the recovery if you miss it. So let's say you miss it or whatever, and it's like here. So the crystal won't matter at all because you don't need any health for this level. Well, you need some, but you will have enough every time. So you will be able to recover going here, climbing up, or you will be able to do a crouch corner bug. So what you just do is just position roughly here, 45 degrees, crouch. Oh, okay, that's the first time I get this animation. Well, here I was really lucky, but generally you need to crouch, press forward, release, and she will glitch up. So that's what will happen in 90% of the time. So this will be your first crouch corner bug. Just turn 45 degree, crouch, forward, release, and you will get it. You don't want to do a perpetual flare cancel here, just in case you want to try, because the reason is you will need to grab and dive in the end of a level, and this is a problem because you can't grab or dive when you are in this state. So this I don't recommend doing perpetual flare cancel because you will have to stop if you do. So this is the recover. Whatever you do, so here one, press left and you get it. Then you're gonna have your first sequence with sprints. So here it's pretty easy. So you have two sequences. You can just sprint, go around here and do the jump I'm gonna show you. You don't want to cut the corner here because if you those tile here, the tile in front of Lara and the one on the right also are not solid tile. You can go through it. So that's why I sprint around. It's only because if I try to cut the corner like this, I might not get it. So, but if you're confident in it, you can do it obviously. So this is just, you just sprint and you don't really care about rolling and diving, because what you will need to do is, why don't you care? Because what you will need to do is, you will need to, you want to stop slightly early for two reasons. First, because you want to set up your jump like this. Wow, I missed it, but you want to set up your jump. And two, because you might probably need to sprint when you will get on top of the place I'm going. And your bar won't be filled completely if you sprint all the way through. So you just want to stop a bit. That's why some people do that sequence. This is an alternate sequence. They go here, they do a jump here, and then they do the jump again. So this is an alternate version. You do it as you want to. So I personally sprint and do my jump that I'm going to miss here. No, never mind. But that's basically the sequence you want to get. So this jump now, you need to do this jump. This jump is really tricky when you start, like really tricky. So you can try to YOLO it. So how it works is you need to jump from here because it's the highest spot you can jump from. Because from here it will never work because you won't be high enough. Well, actually you can make it here probably. But because this is slopey thing, you will get back down, so you don't want to do that. So you want to jump from here at the latest time possible. That's basically how it is. It's pretty easy to get the timing right, so don't worry. You don't have to, it's not frame perfect or anything, it's just you just want to jump as late as possible. But if you jump too late, that will happen. You will get a standing jump instead of a running jump and it won't work. So this is a balance you need to get used to. But what you want to do is you want to jump from the spot I showed you and roughly curve 45 degree. So you want to roughly have a 45 degree angle to land right in front of Lara on the top of the slope. So that's the spot where you are aiming at. Oops. You don't want to aim a bit more left because this has less chance to work, and you don't want to aim more right because if you do, oh my god, I can't get it. Because if you do, you will get directly on a slope. I can't get it anymore, obviously. Like this. That's why you want to aim at the corner and not after it, because you will slide on if that happens. So to YOLO it, it's pretty hard when you start. Sorry, I don't have a sequence, that's why I'm failing all the time, but it shouldn't be too hard. So that's what's supposed to happen. So that's where you want to aim it. So you want, when you start your jump, you want to be high like this, and you want to have roughly this angle. And then it's just about curving, and you don't want to press forward when you are in the air. Why? Because if you keep pressing forward when you land, what's going to happen is that she will keep running and she will get on the slope we don't want to hit. So that's what we want to avoid. So if you can do it, so that's the only thing I can say to you. You just want to have 45 degrees, jump as late as possible if you want to YOLO it and land here. You just one last thing quickly, if you want to keep pressing forward because you prefer pressing forward when you jump, some people do, when you are about to land, you just hold the walk button and you will see that she is stopping. She has a slight, not stumble, but landing animation, and she never keep going forward when you do that. So this is what you want. And it's also useful because when you land like this, if you press left, you will be able to slightly curve to left here. And this is useful because this is exactly where we want to go. So this is slightly faster. Because if you don't do anything, you will have to do this, for example. So this is just slight time save for people wanting time save. And it's not too difficult. So if you want to YOLO, that's what you have to do. So yeah, I missed it, whatever. For people that are not able to get this jump this way, and I understand because this is pretty hard when you start, there is easy setup. Well, it's not really setup. But basically, you want to sprint and arrive here, or jump or whatever. So you just want to be on the right of this tile she's standing on. You just turn like this, roughly like this. So I'm not giving any visual points here because it's not precise at all. Just don't be too much right because you don't want to end up on the slope I showed you. Just be like this. Stand back, and what you want to do is you want to do a running jump. But if you do just a running jump, so here she jumped, but like a vast majority of the time, what's going to happen is that that will happen. She will do a standing jump because she doesn't have enough space to jump. So what you will have to do is simple. You just take your angle like this roughly, step back, and running jump forward, curving very slightly right, like I just did, and you will make it every time. So that's it. You wanna go here, curve here, step back, slightly curve right so she makes the jump every time, and you will make it. And then you don't need to curve in any sort. So you just have to trust Lara like this. So if you see that if you got the right angle, you don't need to press anything. But for instance, if you aim like this and you don't realize it and you do it, you will want to curve a bit to the right when you jump. So this is just, you don't have to press anything, you have a right angle, but it's just adaptive if you want to, if you angle wrong and you realize it too late. But that shouldn't be an issue, just curve slightly right and she'll make it every time. So here, so I'm not used to do it personally, but so I might fail a couple of times, but with a bit of practice, you won't miss it ever. So that's pretty much it. That's the only thing I can give you for this jump, and I hope you will make it because it skips 95% of the level. So that's it. So once you land here, wherever you land, you can quickly sprint for a brief time. So what you do is you just hold the sprint button, and when she starts sprinting, you release it immediately. Like this, up, start sprinting, you release it immediately, and you do a running jump. So you have to know something is that this tile is solid, but all the other tiles that looks like this one are not solid. So don't ask me why. It's probably because it's, no, I don't know actually, but whatever. So you can land on this, no problem. And you can land on this one too, no problem too. I realized something, I didn't mention it, but for Tomb Raider 3 compared to Tomb Raider 2, you don't have sidestep buttons. You need to press walk and the direction you want to sidestep. This is just slight difference. So Anyway, so that's what you want to do. You just want to sprint briefly, jump, and you will make the same sequence every time. And then you want to draw a flare, undo a flare cancel, you do another jump here. So you just go through those texture or whatever, so it doesn't matter, and you will land on this tile every time. So those tiles are solid, so it's fine. So you will land on one of those tiles every time. It doesn't matter which one because the sequence is permissive enough. Oops, well. The best, of course, is to just go here and flare cancel here, obviously. So you just draw flare, do the jump here, flare cancel, and do another running jump on this place, on this one. This one is specific. You need to stand here because this is the best position to do the last jump of a level that I will show you. Up, like this. And this is the end of a level. So, how do you do that? It's really easy. And it's a bit tricky at the same time because you don't want texture glitch. I will explain everything. So, what you just want to do is you want to do a dive. But if you just do a dive, nothing will happen. What you want to do is you want to do a dive and press and hold action. And if you do that, you will end the level. So, this is easy. Ending the level is really easy because that's what you just have to do. Hold the grab button, the action button. But it's a bit tricky. Oops. Whatever. It's a bit tricky because if you hold action too long, that will happen. So you have this stat screen in the end, which is not normal because you don't have a cutscene at all, and etc. But it might look nothing, but what will happen is that will happen. You will have what we call a texture glitch. So here it looks normal, but the next level it's gonna be bad. It's gonna look like I will show you. So if I reload, actually I need to save before loading, obviously. So if I save and load, that will happen, for example. You will have a completely fucked up level. And if the texture glitch doesn't work in this level, what will happen generally is that, oh my god, please, what are you doing? So if you get texture glitch and the next level is fine, generally it means that the level after this one will get messy like this. So it depends how quick you release action. It depends on a couple of things, but sometimes it will look pretty normal with just some missing textures. Sometimes it will completely look awful like here, for example. It only depends on how quick you press action. So here, because I hold action over time, it's awful. So there is a way to fix it if you don't want to. The only way to repair that is to either close and open the game again, and you can make it disappear. Or if you don't want to restart the game, obviously, because when you're in a run and that happens, you don't want to, you can either also save and load. So if every time you reload when you have a texture glitch like this, it will fix it like this. But if you reload again, if you miss something or whatever, it will start being bad again. So every 2 loads, you will get bad thing. Also, you can also it will vanish in the next FMV. So the next FMV, for example, for jungle is after India, after you killed Tony. So it will disappear after you get the FMV after the Tony fight. So if you can stand having such a level and doing your things, you don't have any problem. You can keep going, and the next FMV it will make the texture glitch disappear. So why does texture glitch happen? It happens because the game doesn't, because you skip the cutscene on the start screen too quickly. what will happen is that the game doesn't have time to load every texture in the level. So what he does, he will put quickly a random texture everywhere. That's kind of how it works. So that's why you want to wait during the cutscene of jungle to avoid having texture glitch. So texture glitch is not only for jungle, it's really important all the way through, because you can get texture glitch in every level if you're not careful. So just be careful about it. So I'm gonna reload the game, and I'm gonna show you a couple of attempts to show you what is the timing for this. So I will do a couple of attempts, and you will just look at my inputs to see when you have to release action. That's all you have to do. So that's the time. I forgot to say one other thing, is that, so here I missed it, so I can't show you obviously, but I need to get the cutscene. So if I skip the cutscene too fast, oh my god. So even if a cutscene appears, you can get texture glitch. I will show you. Oh shit. So for example here, I would have skipped it too early. It would have texture glitch. So here, it's obviously already texture glitch, so you didn't see the difference, but if you skip the cutscene too quick too, it will get texture glitch. Basically, if you don't wait in the end of a level, you will texture glitch. So, that's basically it for jungle. What you just need to practice that. That's the only thing you need to practice, actually. And with a previous jump, if you don't set it up. And jungle should be really easy for you. So yeah, this is gonna be it, probably. So you wait, and you get here. And then you keep going. So, one last thing about texture glitch, actually. What you do is, you can see that when you reload, when there is a new level or whatever, you can see there is a fade between things. So for example, here there is a fade between the two levels. Or it also happens when you reload, there is a fade when you reload, as you can see. When this fade happens, you don't want to reload, because if you do, I'm going to show you. If you do, you will get texture glitch. So for example, so here I didn't have it, but next level I should have it. Okay, never mind. So it will happen sometime. If you reload during a fade, you will get texture glitch. So you have to be careful. We will have to save load quick at some point, but it will never get a texture glitch. I will explain to you why later. But you don't want to load during a fade. And also, one quick way to know that you have a texture glitch or not. If you inventory, you should see, normally you would see the game and Lara in the background. If you have a texture glitch, you will get a texture which is weird, which is not going to be related to anything. Generally, it will be where you get the texture glitch. I will show you up. So here I got texture glitch on purpose. So if you pause, you will have this. So you don't have a game background, you have where you got the texture glitch. So this is a way to spot you got a texture glitch or not. If you're willing to play the game with texture glitch, what you have to know too is that the game can crash at any point if you get a texture glitch. So this is a risk if you're willing to take or not, if you want to be a bit faster. So that's gonna be it for jungle and introduction. That was longer than I thought, but I hope it will help some people. Next level is Temple Ruins, which will be really long. If you have any question, you can ask in the commentary section and everything as usual, and see you next time.